Chicago Bears closed 2025 with 11 wins, the NFC North crown, and a wild-card playoff victory over the Green Bay Packers nobody outside Soldier Field expected. Now head coach Ben Johnson is sitting at Halas Hall, pointing at a third-round rookie the rest of the league barely talked about and saying those guys do not grow on trees. The kid ran a 4.28 40-yard dash at the NFL Scouting Combine, third fastest of the entire event, second fastest among receivers. And Johnson keeps gesturing past the speed at something else hiding on the tape, something Detroit fans witnessed 4 straight years from a different number 26, something the Bears offense lacked through all of last season, something every NFC North defense is about to scramble to prepare for. The roster overhaul started early and never slowed down. Chicago drafted Oregon safety Dylan Theamman with pick 25 after his 4.35 40-yard dash and 41-inch vertical jump in Indianapolis. They grabbed Iowa center Logan Jones at 57, the Remington Trophy winner and Joe Moore Award recipient. They added Stanford tight end Sam Roush at 69. They traded for veteran center Garrett Bradbury after Drew Dahlman stunned the building with a sudden retirement at age 27. They signed safety Kobe Bryant out of Seattle on a 3-year, $40 million deal. They brought in linebacker Devin Bush to replace Tremaine Edmonds, who departed for the New York Giants. And one of these moves shifts the defense from solid to scary in ways the rest of the division has not processed yet. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen finally has the back-end chess piece missing since his first day in the building. The schedule release lands Thursday, with Chicago expecting 6 primetime games, minimum, and a possible opening night collision against the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Caleb Williams smashed the franchise single-season passing record with 3,942 yards. Colston Loveland outplayed his draft slot as a rookie with a 91-yard performance in the season finale against the Lions. Luther Burden III flashed star traits before a foot injury slowed him. One question pulls Bears Nation through this entire offseason. Are 11 wins the ceiling or the floor? The next 10 minutes answer the question with names, contracts, and the one storyline nobody else is connecting. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Bears and all the NFL content. Can we hit 500 likes on this video? Ben Johnson stood at Halas Hall and dropped a line every Bears fan replayed twice. He said Zavian Thomas has a unique skill set, the kind only a 4.28 40-yard dash brings, and those guys do not grow on trees. The film tells the deeper story. Thomas lined up at receiver, in the slot, in the backfield, on punt returns, on kickoff returns, even threw a pass at LSU. He took roughly 24 snaps from the backfield as a senior with the Tigers and looked natural every time he took a handoff. Johnson said the version of Thomas the Bears keep watching on tape gives them options nobody else in the league has prepared for, and he pointed at the most obvious comparison without ever saying the name out loud. The number to keep in mind is 27.6. The Detroit Lions running back room generated the 4th highest target share among NFL backfields in 2024 under Ben Johnson, with Jahmyr Gibbs absorbing a massive chunk of those touches. Chicago finished near the bottom of the same chart in 2025. The Bears threw the football to their running backs at one of the lowest rates in the league. They posted weak yardage totals out of the backfield. They lacked the playmaker who forces a linebacker to choose between dropping into coverage or filling a run gap. The 3rd-round selection of Thomas at pick 89 solves the puzzle differently than expected, because the Bears are not asking him to become a true running back. They are asking him to become a position-fluid weapon. Detroit averaged 273.7 passing yards per game, once Johnson had a sub 4.3 speed receiver healthy alongside a backfield mismatch. The formula worked. Chicago finished 3rd in rushing offense last year with 127 big plays, the 2nd most in the league. Add a chess piece who turns slot motion into backfield motion in 3 seconds, and the offense forces defenses to declare their hand pre-snap. Press Taylor runs the play caller chair. Antoine Randall L. coaches the receivers, and Johnson sits at the top of the tree pulling levers. The vision is loud. The Bears want their copycat version of the Detroit attack. The same architect is now building the same machine on the other side of the ball. The defense looks different in 2026 because the front office finally gave Dennis Allen the chess pieces his scheme has been begging for. Kobe Bryant arrived from Seattle on a 3-year, $40 million deal after starting 15 games for the Seahawks last year and posting 66 tackles, 4 interceptions, and a forced fumble. He played alongside Seattle rookie safety Nick Emenwari in a defense led by Mike McDonald, the same defense the rest of the league watched dismantle the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Bryant brings man coverage chops and a Super Bowl ring into a secondary already missing both Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker in free agency. The linebacker room got an injection of speed too. Devin Bush signed to replace Tremaine Edmonds, who left for a 3-year, $36 million deal with the New York Giants. TJ Edwards remains the green dot in the middle when healthy, and DeMarco Jackson earned a starting role after the way he played down the stretch when Edmonds went down with a leg injury in the middle of the season. Behind them, the rookie out of Arizona State, Keyshawn Elliott, fights for snaps with Noah Sewell, working back from a torn Achilles. Suffered in Week 17, Jack Sanborn returns to Chicago after a stint in Dallas. The room feels younger, faster, and pointed at the exact thing Allen wants to do schematically. Up front, the cornerback rotation returns largely intact, but with bigger expectations stamped on every name. Jaylon Johnson is healthy for the first time in 18 months and arrives in camp with the All-Pro flash from 2023. Kyler Gordon plays both the nickel and the boundary as one of the most versatile slot defenders in the league. Tyreek Stevenson must hold off rookie 4th-rounder Malik Muhammad out of Texas, the kind of position battle worth circling on the calendar in red ink. Allen wants to disguise looks, drop linebackers into shell coverage, and unleash creeper pressures the way the Seattle defense did under McDonald. Now he has the bodies to do it. The back end finally has a true center field athlete. But the name attached to the center field role is the one piece you have not heard about yet. And the reason is buried in a story nobody saw coming 3 days after rookie minicamp. The story broke on a Monday afternoon. Squirrel White, real name Marquarius Malik. White, the undrafted free agent wide receiver out of Tennessee and Florida State, walked off the practice field with the trainer during stretches and never came back. 3 days later, the team placed him on the reserve retired list. The kid posted 131 catches for 1,665 yards and 6 touchdowns over 3 years on Rocky Top before a hamstring-shortened transfer year at Florida State. He was the kind of undersized speed merchant Bears fans had circled as a sneaky practice squad weapon, and he walked away from the league at 22 years old after 72 hours. The Bears moved fast. They signed veteran wide receiver Scotty Miller, the 4-year Tampa Bay Buccaneer who won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady in 2020 and brings the kind of vertical speed Chicago has lacked since trading away DJ Moore. They added USC and Penn State rookie wide receiver Kyron Hudson, who overlapped with Caleb Williams in Los Angeles for 2 years and gives the quarterback a familiar face in training camp. They locked in linebacker John Radigan, the 6th-year veteran from Neuqua Valley High School in Naperville, who collected 50 tackles over 5 seasons, primarily on special teams, with the Seahawks and Raiders. And they grabbed Michigan State linebacker Wayne Matthews III, who racked up 73 tackles for the Spartans before going undrafted out of his Big Ten career. The headline is The Loss. The story is the strategy. General Manager Ryan Poles has quietly built one of the best special teams operations in football, year after year, signing guys nobody else wanted because of their roles on units coordinator Richard Hightower runs. Josh Blackwell turned into one of the most reliable gunners in the NFC. Daniel Hardy earned a roster spot off pure coverage value. DeMarco Jackson climbed from special teams ace into a starting linebacker role. Devin Duvernay returned a kickoff 56 yards against the Vikings to set up the game-winning field goal in Week 12. The blueprint has not changed. 2 of the 3 signings this week were special teams ads, and not by accident. Poles identifies coverage, specialists the rest of the league dismisses, and turns them into difference makers. The next reveal hides in plain sight inside this 7-man draft class. 7 picks, 7 different roles. Start at the top with first-round safety, Dylan Theamman at 25 overall. The Oregon transfer who led the Big Ten in tackles as a Purdue sophomore and posted 96 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups for the Ducks last year. 6 interceptions as a Big Ten freshman, 4.35 40-yard dash, 41-inch vertical, moved to second-round center Logan Jones at 57, the Remington Trophy winner out of Iowa, who came in as a defensive tackle and got flipped to the middle of the line, where he started 51 games and earned unanimous All-American honors as a senior. Third-round tight end Sam Roush at 69 adds in line blocking and a red zone target behind Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. Then comes the pick everybody is still arguing about. Zavian Thomas at 89 overall, the LSU and Mississippi State product distantly related to Walter Payton, who runs a 4.2 840-yard dash and lined up everywhere from the slot to the punt return spot. Ben Johnson has been clear about the vision. Thomas will return punts. He will return kickoffs. He will line up in the backfield for fly sweeps. He will get manufactured touches off screen action. He will absorb a percentage of the snaps formerly designed for a speed back. The Bears finished bottom of the league in running back targets last year. They drafted a wide receiver to fix the running back room without using a running back pick, and the math is brilliant. 4th-round corner Malik Muhammad, out of Texas, brings press coverage and competition with Tyreek Stevenson at the boundary. 5th-round linebacker Keyshawn Elliott, out of Arizona State, adds speed and special teams value to a room rebuilding around Devin Bush. 6th-round defensive tackle Jordan Vandenberg, out of Georgia Tech, rounds out the haul as a high-upside developmental piece with elite pro day testing numbers. The undrafted class is loaded too, with running back Coleman Bennett out of Kennesaw State, leading Division I in broken tackle rate. Defensive tackle Jaden Loving, out of Wake Forest, flashing pro day testing numbers, and quarterback Miller Moss as the long-term developmental arm. The whole class is built for one thing: winning the NFC North Division outright. The NFC North got harder, not easier, after 2025. The Detroit Lions still have Jahmyr Gibbs, still have Jared Goff, still have Jameson Williams, and they replaced Ben Johnson with a new play caller while watching Chicago raid their old offensive scheme. The Lions defeated the Bears in Week 18 of the regular season and split the season series, with both games decided by single digits. The matchup at Ford Field came down to the final minute, and the Bears were a missed connection away from winning the division outright. Dan Campbell has built the most physical team in the division, and the Bears finished the play short of stealing the North outright in the final week. The wild-card revenge story over the Packers does not erase the lingering Detroit problem, and the 2 head-to-head matchups on the schedule this fall will define whether the Bears are a true contender or a one-year wonder. The Green Bay Packers will spend 12 months replaying the 31-27 loss at Soldier Field. Jordan Love threw for over 300 yards in the wild card and still lost. Matt LaFleur lost his 4th quarter, 21-6 lead in the playoffs, and the kind of defeat lingers into the next year. Green Bay enters 2026 healthier but more desperate, and Brian Flores in Minnesota brings the same scheme stress test responsible for tripping up Caleb Williams the past 2 seasons. The Vikings will not be easy either. The path to the division crown goes through 3 legitimate playoff threats, and the Bears have to prove the 11 wins were a sustainable baseline. Here's where the schedule gets uncomfortable. Chicago drew the toughest projected schedule in the league based on opponent 2025 winning percentages. The strength of schedule talk is overrated as a predictor, but the reality is the Bears face the Seattle Seahawks of Mike McDonald and Sam Darnold, the New England Patriots of Drake May, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, plus the entire division twice. Beating the Packers in the playoffs once is impressive. Beating them twice in the regular season and once more in January would be a statement. The defense Dennis Allen is building has to deliver on its biggest gamble, and the gamble has a name and a 40 time worth dissecting before week 1. The 25th overall pick was not the next Kyle Hamilton. Dylan Theamman is the new Kevin Byard, and the comparison only sharpens once you stack the testing numbers next to the production. 4.35 40-yard dash at 6 foot, 201 pounds, with 31 3/8-inch arms, 41-inch vertical, 10 foot 5, broad jump, 8 career interceptions as a true safety, despite often aligning closer to the line of scrimmage or dropping in as a robber. Indiana Mr. Football at defensive back as a high schooler. FWA A Defensive Freshman of the Year at Purdue with 6 interceptions in his first college season. Big Ten leader in tackles as a sophomore with 104. Transferred to Oregon for one final year and earned All-American honors. The fit inside Dennis Allen is what closes the loop. Allen wants to run 2 high shells, rotate down post-snap, blitz from depth, and disguise coverage rotations the way Mike McDonald did in Seattle. Theamman is one of 3 safeties in this entire draft class, with the athletic profile to handle every assignment in this defense. He plays the deep middle, he drops into the box, he covers slot receivers, he blitzes off the edge. He is the exact archetype the modern NFL safety position demands, and he lands next to Kobe Bryant in a secondary already including Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon when both are healthy. The room got fundamentally smarter overnight. There is a quiet part everyone keeps missing. The best rookie safety in the league last year, Nick Emenwari, played mostly in the box and the slot for the Seahawks. He was not asked to run the back end. Theamman will be asked to do all of it from day one, the same way Jaquan Brisker was thrown into the deep end as a Bears rookie in 2022. The expectations should be calibrated. Solid, not spectacular. Good, not great. Tackle well. Read formations. Force 1 or 2 turnovers. Hold the structure together. The last safety drafted in the first round by Chicago, who lived up to the billing, was Mark Carrier in 1990. Theamman does not need Defensive Rookie of the Year to be the steal of this class. He needs to start 16 games and stop the bleed in the secondary. Building a perennial Pro Bowl player starts exactly like this. The defense has its piece. The offense has its weapon. Everything left depends on the schedule. The schedule release lands Thursday, and the predictions are stacking up early. Opening night against the defending champion, Seattle. Seahawks looks increasingly likely after weeks of hints from Adam Schefter and other insiders, with the league wanting an ascending team across from the champions. Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. A Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve game at Buffalo is in play after the Bears set a Black Friday viewership record last year against the Eagles with a 16.3 million average audience. Christmas Day is on the table too, with Netflix pushing hard for a Bears-Lions matchup at Ford Field. 6 primetime windows, minimum, is the realistic floor. 8 is in play. The Bears finished 12-5. The prediction is locked in, and the comment, bait is loaded up for debate. The defense gains another tier with Dylan Theamman and Kobe Bryant in the back end. The offensive line gets stronger with Logan Jones pushing Garrett Bradbury at center every day in practice. The running back room gets one more option with Zavian Thomas soaking up manufactured touches. Caleb Williams enters year 3 under Ben Johnson with the same play caller, the same protection front, and the same skill position group, plus a speed merchant. The path to the NFC North title runs through Detroit, and the path to a divisional round home game runs through Soldier Field. Both wins are inside the realistic outcomes for this team if the defense delivers on its biggest gamble. The honest prediction is simple. Chicago beats the Detroit Lions twice this year, sweeps the Green Bay Packers in the regular season, and finishes inside the top 2 seeds in the NFC. Drop your win projection in the comments. Drop your opening night opponent prediction down there too. Drop your bold take about which rookie wins Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. Then hit the subscribe button before the next breakdown lands, because the UDFA tracker is dropping next on this channel with the full sleeper list of which undrafted rookie has the best shot at cracking the 53-man roster out of training camp. Coleman Bennett is the name to circle. Caden Barnett is another one. Jaden Loving is a third. The story is not finished. The 11 wins were not the ceiling. They were the floor.